Godzilla vs. Kong is a highly anticipated movie, guys, at this point, and it's been delayed, and with, rightfully so, with the pandemic that's been going on in our world. And my question here today in this segment of the show is, where is Godzilla vs. Kong? And I think it's a question that is quite valid right now, because this is a movie that many of us are very excited about. But the big thing about it is that it's slated right now for November 20th of 2020. And let me tell you, a lot of movies have been slated for later on in the year, so there's a very much so stiff competition coming in later this year and even going into 2021. So the question is where is this movie at this point? Is it going to come out and stick with the November 19th, 2020 release date, or is it going to get pushed back a year, 6 months, even further out? It's hard to say, but I think, guys, one thing I want to kind of just bring about is kind of the question here and really get some real conversations going with all of you. So Godzilla vs. Kong, guys, this of course is the two monsters meeting, and this is going to be a real blockbuster movie. I think it's going to be one of those films that's going to be just, we're going to, a popcorn movie. We sit there and we watch these two monsters clash amongst other monsters, and the monsterverse fully comes together, and we really see what they're trying to do here. And I think that's important. And you have, Adam Wingard is the director here, which I'm excited to see what he brings to the table with Godzilla vs. Kong. And of course, guys, overall, the cast, the crew, I mean, just everything based around this movie is really getting me excited. But I just am I'm taking this release date with a pinch of salt, because we've seen so many movies pushed back to later on in 2020. Now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this movie does release in November 19th of 2020. However, I think, especially if there's a resurgence in the pandemic, knock on wood that does not happen, there's a very good chance, I think, that Godzilla vs. Kong may be pushed back even further. There also might even be a possibility that it goes directly to streaming services, which would be something very different, but it's something that could potentially happen, because we've been saying this, for a while now on the YouTube channel, that I think this pandemic has really opened up the door to the possibility of movie theaters going extinct completely, whereas everything just specifically gets put onto streaming services instead of movie theaters. And a lot of production companies, they're probably thinking to themselves, well, why even, bring in the third party that is the movie theaters when we can just put it directly out to our subscribers? We get, paid based on the subscriptions, and it's similar to like Netflix and such. And so it's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out. But I wouldn't be surprised if Godzilla vs. Kong gets pushed back from that November 19th release date to a later date. And then from there, I mean, there's a possibility that if this goes on for a significant amount of time, that Godzilla vs. Kong will go directly to streaming services, which would be unfortunate, because I love the movie-going experience. I love the theater experience as well. There's nothing like it out there, experiencing the movie with a bunch of other people. But you can't beat, a lot of times, having, the comfort of your own home, enjoying a blockbuster movie. So there's both sides to the spectrum here, but I would love to see Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters. I think the scope of it and all of that, it deserves to be seen in a movie theater, and so I'm hoping that definitely happens. And hopefully it sticks to this November 19th date. I think that there's going to be stiff competition at the movie theaters, but I think it's going to be a good thing, because everyone's going to be wanting to go to the movie theaters to watch these movies. Of course, we got to be, stay safe and such, and, follow the protocols of what the movie theaters are stating, but I think it's going to be really good for the movie industry, because there's going to be so much competition, and I mean, there's only so many eyeballs, but it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. So where is it? Well, guys, I believe Godzilla vs. Kong is finished at this point. Maybe it's getting some final touches, but it's planning on coming out November 19th, which means that this movie should be pretty much done at this point, and it hopefully will be able to stick to that release date. But I'll certainly keep you guys all up to speed as further information comes out. What is it you guys are most excited about in Godzilla vs. Kong? Let me know in the comment section below. And for more Godzilla vs. Kong content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.